This is my tutorial for every single move on Ape. This is how I dealt with him on my all bosses and mini bosses hitless run, which we did live on Twitch TV. Vomit, shameless plug of my Twitch, so letting you know. I got him very consistent. We only lost, I believe, one run to Ape, and we got past him many times. I'd say it'd have like at least plus 95% consistency, but there's timestamps for all the moves in the description if you just want to find one specific move. The tutorial will cover all phase 1 and phase 2 moves and all their variations and how to punish each of them. We'll start off with the opener. Now this is the classic opener. So what we're going to do is we're going to run at him, we're going to do a jumping double mortal draw. That's going to get him into the perfect stagger. We're going to hit him twice and hit him 5 times, followed by 2. Now what's happening here, this is called the stagger loop. You'll see a lot of people do this. So it's kind of like an exploit of his stagger system. So you have the mini stagger there, another mini stagger, and then you have the big stagger. This is what I refer to both those staggers as. So the whole point is we want to get the big stagger where his head goes up the highest, like you just saw, then get 2 hits. Then you want to time an R1, basically when his left palm lands on the ground. Now we'll just see it happen again. We'll get the opening mortal draw. Now this will put him into the big stagger. 2 hits, wait for his left palm to go on the ground, hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, big stagger. 2 hits, wait for his left palm, R1. So it's 5 hits then 2. The reason you want to wait for his left palm to go on the ground is because if you hit him too early, you'll knock him out of the loop. Now there is sometimes where you'll get the big stagger early. Instead of 2 mini staggers, you'll get a mini stagger into a big stagger. You just have to account for this if you see it, but that is quite rare. Also, you'll see here I'm going behind him. This is a bit safer. You can kind of strafe behind him. Because if you do hit him too late, he has less of a chance of hitting you if you're behind him. Oh, but Vomit, I'm doing sword only run, so I can't do the jumping mortal draw opening. Just do this. Jump and do 2 slashes. And then react to what he does. Because if you're doing sword only, you have to fight phase 1 for a bit to at least get him into the loop. So I'm going to explain all phase 1 moves. Now, if you don't care about the sword only or learning phase 1, simply skip to phase 2 in the timestamps, but I'm going to explain every move in phase 1 for you. First move, the quick getaway slap. Now I just deflect this. Now you want to learn the deflect timing. It's kind of a weird attack because like you'd think it would be his left hand that would hit you, but you'll get used to this telegraph and then you'll start to deflect on time. You can alternatively, if you recognize it quick, you can just outpace it and move back. But he's going to do it when you punish him and you're quite close to him. So I would recommend just learning to deflect it personally. He's also got a different getaway slap. I guess we can just call this the normal getaway slap. Obviously it's a bit of a delayed deflect. I think you can also outpace this one if you just want to do that. You can just dodge backwards or run backwards if you're far enough away. You'll see this move quite a bit. But yeah, I'll just learn to deflect it and then try to get close to him again. Now we have the good old sweeping grab. Now you just jump this. Yeah, it's just that simple. But what I would say is that make sure that Sekiro is moving. See how I like slightly move back? This is to attempt to prevent a eat and jump input. Like if you're just standing still, sometimes Sekiro gets turned around and he can't input jumps or deflects. Also, I'm just hitting him with an R1 in the air, and then as soon as I get on the ground, another R1. I kind of spam it a bit, but I only get one R1 on the ground. Because he follows up quite quickly, so you can't punish him much. So now we've got the sweep into Tantrum. Now this one I would just deflect the sweeping slap and lock off and run to the right to avoid the Tantrum. Wait out the Tantrum for him to have his right arm just slap onto the ground and then do 2 poking R1s to punish him. I prefer this to deflecting the, like some people deflect the tantrum, you can do that. I also used to dodge the tantrum, but I found this to be a bit more consistent to just lock off and go to the right. I'm not sure what people call this move, but I'm going to call it the double swing into sweep. If you're really close to him, you can simply deflect the first hit and duck under the second, get behind him and do up to 3 poking R1s. Maybe just do 2 poking R1s if you want to be safe. You see I'm also deflecting the quick getaway slap up after this attack, which is why I would recommend learning to deflect the quick getaway slap. And this also is why we want to go really close to Ape in phase 1. We want to run up to the front of him and react to his moves. This is a perfect example. Why? Because we can simply duck under some of his stuff. Now, just be careful though, because if you're slightly far away, you're not going to duck under the second attack. So just be careful. It's a little bit precise. I'm also not sure what people call this move, but we're going to call it the double slap into slam combo. Now, in this particular circumstance, he went away from us and then started the attack at neutral distance, so we were forced into deflecting the first 2 hits. If you're close to him while he starts this, you can just duck under it. But as you can see here, I didn't quite strafe around him quick enough, so he actually did the follow-up combo. If you get behind him in a certain spot, he won't do the follow-up here. And you can actually punish him from behind, and then usually he'll follow up with like a fart attack. But yeah, in this circumstance, if he does the combo, I wouldn't try to punish him. I would just like move around behind him to the left side so that he doesn't hit you with the combo, like this circumstance here. In this case here, we're actually not getting the follow-up combo, and so I would do up to 2 poking R1s here. Obviously we stagger him early here, but this is an example of not getting the follow-up. Now we have the fart move, which he will often do if you're poking him from behind, like you see here. And then he will always follow up with a poop throw. So if I'm punishing him from behind, okay, we see he does the fart, then we just run forward and to the side to avoid the poison hitbox. A little bit of poison build-up does not count as a hit for no hit, unless the poison procs, then it is a hit. It is also worth noting that sometimes he can just throw poop from a range if you're far away from him. But obviously, as he throws the poop, I want to close the distance between me and him, and I want to dodge just as he throws the poop, and then punish him with 2 poking R1s as he recovers. Sometimes when you are behind him, he will not do the fart attack. Instead, he will do this kind of like turnaround swing slam, we'll call it. Forgive me here, I actually block the first attack instead of deflecting it. But you can learn the timing to just deflect both of these. It's not punishable, unfortunately. He recovers too quickly. Alternatively, if you see this coming, you can just run away. It's a bit easier. Oh, now we have the big 5-hit combo. Here's the first and most obvious way you can deal with it. Simply deflect all 5 hits and follow up with an R1 poke. Alternatively, you can deflect the first 2 hits and simply outpace it. I kind of dodge here, but you can just sprint away and outpace it, and then you can get a poking R1 as he recovers. And the third way you could deal with this is simply deflect the first 2 attacks and kind of spin him around. He'll just miss you. This is kind of what I prefer to do nowadays, and this is also very useful on the ape duo fight. Kind of like go around in a bit of a wide arc of a circle, so you don't run into him. I believe this attack is called the Perilous Grab attack. Now, he only gains access to this move once you have his health bar down to 50%. Not his posture bar, but his health bar. Now, if his health bar is below 50% and he runs away and starts closing the distance on you, you can guarantee that he's doing this attack. So what I would do is get as close to him as you can, unlock, and dodge diagonal forward left. And you will avoid the grab. And then, of course, I am following up the dodge with 2 poking R1s. Which is why I would recommend getting close to him, so you put yourself in position to punish him after the dodge. And last but not least, we have this really stupid move where he just roars. Every time I try to hit him here, I just whiff. And sometimes he recovers really quickly. So I just actually wouldn't even recommend punishing this at all. Just get close to him to put yourself in position to react to the next move. I should probably also say how I'm punishing him after I stagger him. Now, it's worth noting that every time you stagger the ape, you can get him into the stagger loop if you want to do so. If you are challenging yourself to just fight him normally without the stagger loop, I would poke him 5 times after you stagger. So watch this here. He'll get staggered. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, it's 4 times. 5 if you count the hit where I stagger him. That's the best punish you can get as far as I know. At least for sword only, no stagger. Now, for phase 2, we are going to buff just as the ape starts to stand up. As I will show here. This will work for most buffs, like Yash as well. You have time to react. The first move I'm going to show you is the poke into overhead slash into overhead slam, as you see here. Now, after we deflect the overhead slam, we can get one of the best punishes, which I will show you. You can either use the extended spear, or we can get 6 R1s in. And I will show you how these punishes work right now. So this is the spear punish. After you deflect the overhead, do 2 R1s, and then do a spear into extended spear, and you can do a jumping mortal draw afterwards. I would only do 1 mortal draw. I believe that is safe from all my testing. I've never got punished after doing 1 mortal draw. But I wouldn't recommend doing 2, because you don't know if you're going to stagger him, depending on your AP level. But yeah, that's a real nice punish, and it does percentage-based damage, which is really good. So yeah, if you've got the spear, definitely use this punish. If you are not allowing the use of prosthetics, after deflecting the overhead, you can get 6 R1s. Now, it's important to note you should only do this if you have space to run behind him, because as you can see here, he can do the scream. So just make sure you have space to run behind him, because if you run backwards after 6 R1s, you won't make enough distance to get out of the scream. You have to run behind him. You will have time to deflect a slash if he follows up a slash after doing 6 R1s, as long as you are locked onto him. So you should be fine to do that. One of the most common moves you will see in phase 2 is the scream. Now, it is worth noting that the scream has not much of a hitbox behind the ape. So this is the best way to deal with it. If you have room to run behind the ape, I would recommend locking off and simply running behind the ape and away from it. And then always try to re-engage the ape after the scream by getting in front of him. This is going to be very important for all your deflect timings. If you don't have space to run behind him, just simply run backwards. I would look back if you run backwards, because you might run into a tree, just so you can see what's in front of you. Of course, you might have to claw grip to do this effectively. But yeah, if you lock on and run back and you back into a tree, unlucky. But that's how I used to do it. Earlier we were talking about the poke into overhead slash into overhead slam. Well, he has another variation of that move where he will poke and then go into a delayed Beserk combo. So if you deflect the poke and he holds his sword arm up in the air and leaves it there for a bit, just simply run around him so he misses you. I don't do it here, but you can hit him in the back 4 times and then get into position just behind him so that he'll turn around and do the overhead slam, and you can punish that as well. Sorry I didn't get the footage and I'm too lazy to go back and get it. But I'll show you that punish here later on another move. Sorry. He has another variation of the poke where you deflect the poke and then he screams. Now it's worth noting that this scream has a much smaller radius than the normal scream, so you can run back and get out of the range of that. It's a lot more lenient than the other scream for a reason, because it is hard to react to, because usually you don't expect it. Yeah, just run back from it. I wouldn't run into him. I've never tried that, but it probably doesn't work. Just run backwards. You'll often see him lunge at you from a distance like this. If he does that, just run around the right side and poke him in the back, and then get in front of him. Now I do stagger him here, but even if you don't stagger him, you have time to run in front of him and then deflect a slash move. This is how I would deal with this. You can also just jump it as well and land in front of him, I believe. That's another way of dealing with it. Okay, so this is one of the most common moves you'll see. It's a diagonal slash into a side slash, and then he will go into the Beserk combo. He has a bunch of variations of this, of course, which I will explain. But if you get this one, simply deflect both hits. He will do his Beserk combo. You can R1 twice, dodge around him, and get 4 R1s. And then just stay in the position you're in, and he'll actually turn around and track you with the overhead slam. See how I'm just going to basically stay in position, lock on, deflect the overhead slam. And then of course you can punish him with the spear, or do your sword only punishes. Instead of doing the first 2 R1s, you can simply just run around him and do 4 R1s if you don't like the idea of reacting quickly with 2 R1s like I do here, and then dodging around him. You can just simply run around him and get 4 if you want to play it more safe. 4 R1s. Now here's one of the first variations. He will do the diagonal slash into a sweep. Just simply deflect this and then jump the sweep. And remember, always keep moving in a direction with Sekiro in order to prevent a eaten jump input. Here's another variation of the slash combo. He will do a diagonal slash, he'll slash behind him, and then he'll do a sweeping slash in front of him. Simply deflect the first one, the second one will miss, and then deflect the third one, and he'll go into the overhead slam, which of course you can punish with the spear if you'd like to. It's worth noting that with the slash combo, sometimes the sideways slash can be delayed. Like, it's really weird. Sometimes he'll delay it quite a long time. I'm not sure if this is intended by the developers or not. But yeah, just watch out, because sometimes the second slash will be a lot more delayed. Of course, you can also just do the sweep So like any other sweep, just make sure Sekiro's moving to prevent the eat and jump input, and simply jump over it and get in front of him to prepare for a deflect. Now this is kind of a weird concept to explain, but sometimes see how I deflected this attack here, and then he did this sweep, and then afterwards he does another combo and I deflect the first attack again, but then he goes into the overhead slam. This will happen sometimes. I don't know how you would even explain this in the right words, but essentially sometimes like you just get the first deflect of 2 combos, and then of course you'll go into the overhead. Yeah, and obviously you can punish him off this. Just look out for that. It's kind of like a bonus punish that you can get every now and then. I just want to explain 2 memes to look out for. So as you can see here, I have his health low to the point where when I hit him, he'll go into the Deathblow state. Now, sometimes you'll see him do this Beserk combo here. If you hit him in the exact right frame here and send him into Deathblow state, he'll actually pull his sword back in and hit you. Just watch out for this one. I would just not R1 him here. Just let him do his combo. So yeah, I hit him, and then bang, I take a hit. The Deathblow meme can also happen on the Lunge, as you can see here. So just watch out for these 2 attacks. I would not send him into the Deathblow state on these 2 attacks. Just do any other punish than these 2. Just letting you guys know about it so you don't ruin your run. Well, that was my tutorial on Ape. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps out. It was mainly aimed at newer hitless runners who just want to learn the basics of Ape. There's probably a few more things that could be explained, but if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and hit the video with a like if you liked it. I plan to make more boss tutorials in the future, and yeah, come check out the Twitch channel, Vomit with 2 eyes. Recently got all bosses and mini bosses no hit with attack power 1, and I plan to do more Sekiro runs in the future with more restrictions. We also run Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne and do crazy challenge runs on there, so yeah, check us out. Till then, see you next time. Peace out.